guys, what's up? It's your girl Camray and you're watching Camray Music TV, and I'm back with another P-Valley review. This is season 1, episode number 3. If you're new here, make sure you subscribe down below to my channel and like this video, share this video with all your friends, and comment down below your thoughts on this week's episode. So the show is heating up, lots of different levels to these characters, and although we have like a full cast, you know, these stories are kind of intertwining. It's getting better to keep up with everything going down. I do want to say shout out to the cast and congratulations to the writer, the producers, the directors, everybody on getting renewed for a second season. So that means that we are all watching, we're tweeting, we're tuning in, and the numbers are doing well. Now, I don't know how things are going to go down with COVID, because COVID has interrupted a lot of people's shooting schedules and, you know, what they're able to do. I don't know if they're going to have to incorporate that into the storyline. And what I don't want is Pose, Queen Sugar, Insecure, all these different shows, and now P-Valley to have these Zoom or COVID type of storylines. I just can't. So I don't know what they're going to do. I mean, I guess when you're in this line of work, you got to get creative with the resources that you have. Anyway, let's get into the show. Okay, so Mercedes is dancing for this coach. It's giving us really like fantasy illusion type, where he feels like it's just her and him in this club. And he's talking to her, giving her this whole let me save you type of spiel, right? We find out he is married. But I mean, this is probably a lot of men, right? They come to the club thinking that they can save the dancers and provide some better life. He's like, let me put you up in this condo, come up to Memphis with me. And she's just like, you know, you can never afford me. The people come back and she's like, give me my money. And so it just made me wonder if that's what these men be thinking, you know, when they go. They just, you know, get lost in the sauce of the fantasy. This whole entire episode, these women were working this floor. Mercedes was killing these roles and dance. I just was like, I just need her body composition, her body type. I couldn't even almost get the word out. I just need that. I need that. So she's doing her thing. He comes back to reality and we're back in the club, okay? So Autumn is in the beauty supply store with Gidget, and she feeling like, you know, after Uncle Clifford clowned her DIY hairstyle so bad, she's feeling like, you know, I need to get something different, something to make me pop, something to put me in the mood type of thing. And she gets this long, bone straight, blonde, synthetic hair, and she's feeling herself, okay? She doing all the little dances, she moving all in between the people, she getting the money, she doing what needs to be done, okay? She goes to take, you know, Clifford his little cut or whatever, and he's asking her, what's going on with Andre? What's going on with your boy? I need the tea. I need to know what's going down. And reminds her, listen, I got your ID, so I need this tea. So Autumn's like, I'm gonna do what needs to be done, okay? We find out, you know, Andre is hanging out with the mayor, and we find out later on that that is his goddaddy. So Andre's from Chucalissa, you know, he came back trying to do this casino thing, you know, trying to really seemingly trying to put Chucalissa back on the map and have like tourists come and, you know, fill these mom and pop shops back up, and, you know, just that seems to be his whole motivation, okay? But the goddaddy, he feeling like, you know, this the casino, y'all need to name it after the first black mayor. He just gives me really like slickety slick vibes. Like, I couldn't have no mayor like this of my city, not a city that I like grew up in. Like, he just gives me dirty vibes, like he just doing stuff up under the table. And we find out he is doing stuff up under the table. So, but I was just like a little confused about what the real issue was. It seemed like Andre was pushing to have the casino built on the Pink's land, but the mayor was talking about something else. So I'm just like, I don't know. But he did say that he wanted to keep the conversation on hush hush because he don't want it getting out to the council or the people, because then they're gonna have to vote on it, and apparently the city is really religious and he knows it ain't gonna happen if it gets out in the city. Okay, so let's say we see that Autumn is still she's getting this text about picking up that $9,000, and y'all know that you need your ID. So that's when she decides, you know what, I'm gonna just do what needs to be done. She goes to meet up with Andre at this diner. And, you know, they sitting there having a cute little banter, talking about Freaknik, talking about all this stuff, you know, finishing each other's sentences. It's real cute. But then we get like a zoom in on Andre's ring. And I was like, this poor wife just sitting at the house thinking her man just, you know, out of town, making a better life for both of them. And he is in a strip club a whole lot of nights. He is, you know, doing all these different things. Your man, girl, you need to check on your man, girl. You need to check on your man. So, you know, they talking, and this older man, like, you know, grandpa type, he's sitting at the little bar area of the diner, and he was like, oh, y'all a cute couple, what brings y'all here? You know, Autumn says they just passing through, and he shares this story about this, you know, these Choctaw, I think, men who used to like be up in the mountains and put this stick in the ground every time, you know, every time they were there, so they knew which way to go. You know, different Choctaw people that would come up there. And he was saying that if somebody died, they would put them on their back and just carry them. And he was like, ain't that a shame to just have death on your back like that? And it was making me laugh a little bit, because I was like, people in the South really be having stories and like different sayings and different, you know, different stuff that we be saying. I can't even think of no example. When I think of it, I'll tell y'all. But it just always makes me chuckle. Like when you, like, a lot of Uncle Clifford's, like, things that he says, it just makes me laugh. But anyway, Autumn is having these like flashbacks, and y'all know that she has PTSD really bad. So we're trying to figure out what is she thinking about now. It's doing like this real zoom in close on her, and she's looking trembling and all kind of stuff. So I'm like, what is really going down with Autumn? Okay, so anyway, the girls come in and they interrupt this little thing going on. You got Gidget, Mississippi, and Mercedes. They come in, they take over the booth. They like, yeah, let us get an order and put it on his tab. And I was like, Andre, you just gone? Okay, all right. So Mercedes is just kind of looking at her like, yeah, what is all that about? And Autumn says it's innocent. You know, Mississippi's talking about, you know, we all got our regulars. And Gidget lets us know that her regular is her boyfriend, okay? And then Mississippi, you know, she has this acupuncturist, and she has Corbin, and Mercedes got the coach, and you know, so I'm just like, no, Autumn got feelings for this dude, and she gonna be in for a rude awakening because he is all the way married. Okay, all right. So Corbin is on is picking cotton. Okay, I was like, the cotton field period was just making my skin crawl. I was like, you know, I don't know what it is. Anytime I see cotton, I think I've already told y'all this, it just makes me feel like my ancestors are like crying out. So to see this black man picking cotton, now he wasn't picking it, he was in this big old machine type thing, but it was still just like, ugh. Anyway, Uncle Clifford standing out there in this like Victorian type of top with like the poofy butt part and like a little umbrella. Like, what's tea? Because I heard some things and I'm trying to get it confirmed. Okay, so Corbin does tell him like, yeah, we planning on building a casino, but he didn't tell him that we planning on building it on top of the pink and won't be no more pink. So, you know, he got Uncle Clifford real excited. Uncle Clifford, like, he had to pry it out of him because, you know, Uncle Clifford, like, I done kept a lot of your secrets. All that stuff you be doing down at the strip club, you know, all in the cloud room and stuff. I've kept a lot of those secrets. So, he just, you know, Corbin feels like he can trust Uncle Clifford, but clearly not all the way because he doesn't tell him about this plan to possibly put it on the land, on the Pink's land. He also says that he wants to lease the land, whereas his brothers want to just sell it. So Corbin seems to, have a little smarts going on for him. Oh, Mercedes' mama, she in this church and she is in full fantasy mode, preaching down, honey, and she is just waiting for her day where she can just show like she can preach too, right? Mercedes interrupts that because she's there to collect. She there to get her money. Her mama still don't have this check. But it seems that, when Mercedes shares that, she needs it for the building. Because first of all, when the mom was like, what you need it for? I'm like, why are you asking her what she need her own money back for? And they're going to tell her the loan got approved. Okay, so what's the problem? Give me my money and I'll be gone. Okay, so, she tells her that, and then Mercedes is like, oh, I need the money for the building, and her mom's like, oh, I'll have the check for you in the morning. I really don't think her mama got this money. Mercedes hugs her like a little kid, like you can tell she's missing, she's longing for this acceptance from her mother, and I don't think she gonna get it. Because her mom, she got some insecurities with her too, because later on when she is having the meeting with the deacons and stuff, patriarchy wins again, because the pastor, even though he like flirted with her before and was like, I might have a place for you in the pulpit, he telling her to submit to the elders and let old boy preach. And it was just like, yeah, you played your daughter for nothing and pimped her out for nothing. A mess. A mess. Okay, so Mercedes can't be too bothered with her mom because she got to worry about the Chuckalisa challengers over there twerking on the Snapchat because they trying to send out this invite for this bad B party, right? So Mercedes get there. She upset, honey. She telling them, this is not what we do, okay? And one kid, she had this full feminist response. And I was like, okay, sis, speak with this feminist response. But Terica was like, well, you do it. And Mercedes said, well, honey, I gets paid for when I do it. Okay, but it's something about her and Terica that we see. It's like foreshadowing there, because when they're doing the toe touches for punishment, she looks at Terica and she's like, yeah, make it 70. So I think, Terica's the captain, so I thought that's why they was kind of close. But we find out later that that's actually her daughter. Okay, so let's just go ahead and skip on to that part. The ladies are in the dressing room at the club, and they're all like, oh, this girl's twerking better than me, looking at this video. And Mercedes come over to see, like, what's all the fuss about, and realizes, like, it's her daughter and her Chuckalisa challengers twerking in this video, all in the pool, doing the whipped cream, doing all, girl, I could not believe. And the crazy thing about it is, I never once thought of, with City Girls, Meg Thee Stallion, Cardi B, like, Cash Doll, Saweetie, this like stripper type of culture is really, why can't I think about the word I'm trying to say? It's really popular right now, and it's really like the hot thing right now, right? So even though City Girls, Meg Thee Stallion, even though most of them were not strippers, that stripper mentality and like just, being half naked and twerking and, that's really popular right now. So I never once thought about like kids doing that, and they're teenagers, they're not kids, but I was just like, dang, is this how they be at the proms now? Like, I don't know. I remember when the little school administrators would step in if you even broke your back. So I just wonder how that's going, because I teach a younger age, and so any dance that we've had, I'd be up in there. I'd be like, what's going on? Well, what we doing in here? Y'all, these eyelashes, I don't know if it's the eyelash or the hair that I see in the corner of my eye. Okay. Anyway, Mercedes get down there, and the guys outside like, ooh, somebody about to get toe up. Okay, and so she goes in there, she shuts all that down. And she's telling Terica, like, are you crazy? Like, why would you do something like this? And you know, this, you're advertising for this, and a man could just do this to you, and you know, you gonna end up just like, you know, just like them girls out there, you know, basically pregnant, right? And Terica makes this remark. Now, Terica got a smart mouth now. But she's like, you know, at least I wouldn't give up my child the way you gave up yours, the way you gave me up, right? So I'm like, yeah, we need to know the story on Mercedes and why she gave this child up. Who is this woman that she gave her up to? Is it her aunt who was, you know, the house is all big and nice. It's just like, where are we at? I didn't have enough context. The story wasn't making sense, but I mean, you know, I guess we'll get it much later on. Okay, so Mercedes, Gidget, and Mississippi, they was working on this stunt because, you know, they're the Trinity. And this is the first time that we see, maybe it's once a month or something that they get together and do this. I don't know, but it was just so impressive to me how they were able to make this formation. Mercedes is like this 6-inch hill on Mississippi who's planking and twerking on her. They all suspended in the air on the pole, and then Gidget is at the bottom doing. I'm just like, the amount of upper body strength, I just cannot even. Okay, but that was their big thing. Like, they had this big stunt. They was practicing for it. We were able to see that. We also were able to see that Mississippi is still getting, you know, manhandled and beat on by this man. When in our weekly wrap up later on this week, we're going to talk about domestic abuse, and we're going to talk about Meg Thee Stallion, because I got some things to say about that. But yeah, that's what was going on with Mississippi. And Diamond, you know, makes this concoction to like ice her wrist. She gets better because they kill it that night. Let me just say that I was living for Uncle Clifford's MCing. It was just, I mean, M-I, cricket letter, I, cricket letter, I. And then he did the humpback. I'm just like, okay, Uncle Cliff. Like, the MCing, the lines, the slay, the beats. I mean, just whoever is responsible. Just amazing. Amazing. Okay, so Mississippi's about to go on stage, and nobody will hold her baby. Her baby's crying. Now, I don't know if the baby be usually sleep, and maybe at this time the baby was up, but Mississippi's like, you know, I gotta go back out here. Autumn, can you hold her or him or the baby? And Autumn is like, the baby is crying, so the baby crying is triggering her, right? And all we see is her. It's raining. She's putting this baby into the car who is crying, screaming, and she's covered in blood. And then I don't know if the car like is submerged in water, or she got submerged in water. I don't know. But whatever it was, it causes Autumn to run to the bar and start knocking back all these shots. The bartender got to cut her off, like start handing her water. She is stumbling all, you know, through the club. And when she gets a chance to join the ladies on stage, she falling. You know, Mercedes got to save face and pretty much get on top of her and like make a show, right? But I was like, Autumn, you better get it together, girl. I don't know what you need to do. Maybe you need a journal. Maybe, I don't know what it is. But she is out running. She's running from some demons. And it is going to be the bane of her existence if she don't get it together. Okay, so DJ Never Scared is in high school. I guess his name is Daquan, and you know, his friend wanted to come with him, and he like, nah, you can't come with me to hang with Lil Murder and his hoopty. But Lil Murder is trying to get some advice on his music. Y'all know that he really wants his music to pop, and everybody is telling him. You got Mercedes telling him, you got Uncle Clifford telling him, and now you got DJ Never Scared telling him like, no, your stuff, it can't just be the hook that knocks. Like, it got to knock from the verse to the hook to the verse to the bridge and all that for the ladies to want to dance to it. And I don't know if DJ Never Scared talks like this in real life, but the way he was able to switch from this, like, the way he was able to travel through like this thick accent and like the lingo of like DJs, you know, the 808 and this and this, I was like, this is kind of impressive, young man. I was here here for that little lingo right there. Now that could be his regular accent. He could not have been acting, but I really feel like that took a little effort to be talking like that, right? So later on, Lil Murda drops him off at the club, and you know, Uncle Clifford sees him, and you know, is speaking to him, and Lil Murda acting a little different now because somebody sees them talking, and it's that whole down low stuff that we have a problem with these men, right? Apparently Lil Murda is on the down low. You know, he wants to be this gangsta rapper, and you can't really do that and be with the man, at least stereotypically, right? And so Uncle Clifford peeps game because Uncle Clifford is of age and he understands how this go because he understands, right? And that just sucks. It sucks. But we see in the previews for next week that Lil Murda is gonna have to deal with that, and I'm ready to talk about it, to be honest. Okay, let's see. Okay, so Gidget's boyfriend shows up, and we see this exchange between them three, Sojourner and Gidget's boyfriend and Uncle Clifford. Uncle Clifford gets the money from him. He says, look, I can't do no more. I can't have no more oxy here. You know, the weed is one thing, but I can't do the oxy. Gidget asks for some oxy for Mississippi because she hurt her wrist. And the boyfriend's like, are you sure it ain't for your mama? And that's when we see, you know, it might be for her mama. It might be. So what is Gidget up to? Okay, so Autumn and Andre are at this mountain, right? Because the old man was telling her about the mountain. So they go to the mountain. And, you know, they walking, flirting, talking, end up taking it back to the hotel room. There was this one part where her wig was just out of whack, and I was like, y'all really could have fixed the wig. But anyway, so they, you know, they in the heat of passion, and they, you know, then busted into the hotel room, and then, you know, it's just all this going on, and she's like, oh, what about protection, right? And so he rushes out, you know, you got the judgy hotel clerk, but he goes onto the gas station or whatever. And this is her chance to get into his laptop. Now, I'm thinking, you know, she tricked him to get him to open it. And I'm thinking, how dumb do you gotta be to think, you know, you're doing a secret covert operation, and this girl, you barely know her real name. You don't call her by her real name. You call her by Autumn, her stripper name, stage name. And you don't even know her last name. You don't even know nothing about her. And you gonna trust her with your laptop with the confidential information? I was just like, man, this dude is green. So green. So, you know, while he gone, she's looking through all the files. She didn't email it over. I'm like, she didn't even delete the email, delete the evidence. And then she travels over to his gallery folder, and she sees a picture of herself. And of course she gets spooked because she's paranoid. You know, she's already on the run from whatever she did. So she ends up being gone by the time he gets back. Now she rushes over to the Pink, and she got all the intel. You know, Clifford is just so excited, so happy. And now he has set up a meetup and tricked Andre to come down there. He got on a blonde wig and everything in the cloud room. And he is trying to find out from Andre, you know, I don't see nowhere on here for the Pink. I don't see nowhere on here. So you need to tell me what's going down. You need to tell me now. Andre ends up calling his goddaddy. And he like, you know, it's trouble. We got to do something because it's trouble, because it's getting out. Okay? And then we also see Autumn goes to pick up her money, and I was like, lady, why is you not putting this money in a bag? What is going on? So yeah, that was this week's episode. I just want to say that those formations, it's still just blowing my mind. These looks that Uncle Clifford got, the Mercedes, that hair that she had with the blue streaks in it, I was living for. Yeah, I just really enjoyed the show, and I'm so happy that you guys got renewed for another season. This has been your P-Valley review. You guys go ahead and make sure you comment down below your thoughts on the review and on the show. I am Camera Ray. This is Camera Music TV, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!